What is going on, Bantees? Welcome back to another episode of Base Hits and Banter. I am one of your two co-hosts, Haley McClinney, joined by my best buddy and softball watching pal.
Sam Fisher, what's up, everybody?
Howdy, folks. Sam, obviously the story of the weekend was the Red River rivalry. I did rehearse that 10 times in the
Good
mirror
job.
before we hopped on the pod. Texas takes the series from Oklahoma.
Yeah,
Thoughts?
so many thoughts. Exciting to watch. Big shout out though, this weekend to the women's basketball. What a
Mm,
finish. South
yes.
Carolina undefeated. My goodness. That
18.7 million viewers.
yeah, just a few.
So
So
everyone does watch women's sports.
yeah, that they do be. So loved to see it. I loved switching back and forth because obviously, I mean, I'm gonna watch both. But
Absolutely.
what a weekend. It was everything I was hoping it would be. Not to say that I was hoping Oklahoma would lose or Texas would win, but they were World Series level games. And
Yes.
that is what I was hoping for. Like, you love being part of a blowout when you're a player for the
Yes.
most part, but like you don't want to watch that.
No.
So I
No.
think it was everything everybody was hoping for it to be.
It was. It literally felt like every pitch could have changed the game. And so you were watching
Absolutely.
every game with that much anticipation and
Yeah.
excitement.
Yeah.
And we had some friends over that we ran into that live near us, and they were saying how like they haven't really watched a softball game all year, but they made sure to tune
Oh
in
yeah.
to Oklahoma and Texas. And of course they had to tell, me and East Coast K-Dog about it. But they
Naturally.
said the same thing. It was literally like flipping on a World Series game in April.
Yeah.
And what an amazing thing
Oh,
for our sport to be televised like that, to have the ratings that we did while all of the women's March Madness was going on. Like,
correct.
I
Yes.
just women's sports right now, up and up, like trending in the right direction.
Yep.
It's skyrocketing. And
Doing
this
great.
really is only the beginning, I think, for women's basketball and for the softball
Yes.
side too.
Absolutely. I agree. And I think there's been a lot of conversation about present day sport and past sport where you don't
Mhm.
get to this point without those who laid the foundation and those who came
Yes,
before us and put in the work and everything. So I just hope everybody's happy to see that things are coming to fruition. But in
absolutely.
women's sports in general, you're absolutely right. But there was a couple of controversial things that happened on Saturday night in the Texas Oklahoma game. One being something that's a very hot topic right now is the leaving early call. What are what are your thoughts for those who didn't watch? It was 2-1 Texas. Bases loaded. Katie Stewart, a freshman who broke two windows in the building behind the field during batting practice, could just unload on a ball. She bases loaded. She hits a ball off the wall. 2 runs score. It's 4-1 Texas. But Oklahoma comes out, challenges, and says, I think somebody left early. Can we check? Runner from second, left early. Batter comes back, runners go back. That runner now is out. So 2-1 Texas instead of 4-1 Texas. What are your thoughts, Halo, on this new thing?
Total, utter dumpster garbage.
To put it lightly, so yeah, so
Why? Like, I don't understand, and this may be a controversial take, but like, I just don't understand why, if it doesn't impact the play at
mhm,
all,
yeah,
why are we reviewing it?
yeah,
I get you're not supposed to leave early. I
right,
totally understand that. But if you're
yeah,
actively not trying to advance the base in a bases loaded situation where you have a runner in front of you, I get it if it's a runner on first and like you're trying to draw a throw or something by faking
mhm,
out the entire dugout. But if you
yeah.
have a runner in front of you,
Where are you going?
what what does that matter?
Right.
And I think now it's just becoming, the more and more games that I watch, the more that it's becoming just a fallback for a lot of coaches. Be like, oh, well, we just gave up a bases clearing triple or bases clearing
Mhm.
double or a grand slam. And
Such
like,
a good point.
let's just see if someone randomly left early. Like that,
Right.
there is strategy behind it, but there's not, if that makes sense. And
Yeah.
so I think it slows the game down. I think it's almost like to the effect of, how when this is just because basketball has been on our both of our minds the past week,
Yeah.
but when one team has so much momentum,
Yeah.
the opposing coach calls a timeout, right?
Yep.
Get the group
Right.
together. slow, like calm the crowd down, get everybody's breath back to normal. That's what this does.
Mhm.
And I don't like it
Don't
because I
like
don't
it.
I don't think it's directly impacting the outcome of a
Yeah.
lot of these plays that we're seeing it replayed in. What
Yeah.
are your thoughts?
I'm with you. I do think that like I am very much a person of like rules are there for a reason, like follow the rules, obviously.
Sure.
But also what you're saying too, like it leads me into thinking of if you don't have cause, then I don't think you should be able to ask. Like there's so many things that need cause before they happen, right? So
Yes.
this is a this there was no cause like it wasn't blatant. Even
Great
if you slowing
word.
it, even slowing it down, you're watching, you're like, oh, you know what, I do think she left early. It wasn't like, oh yeah, my god, she's 3 feet off the base.
Right.
And so she would have scored either way. She would have scored either
Correct.
way. It was a split second.
Correct.
So I'm not advocating for leaving early, but I'm also not advocating for, just like you said, it's a fallback. And I don't like in this sport having a fallback. Like let the game fall as it may.
Yes.
And if the umpire, if it, like I said, if it's blatant and the umpire can see it with the naked eye, that's a completely different story than, hey, let's just check and see.
Right. Totally agree with you there.
It's tough. I think it will change. I think it's affected quite a few games already this year. But the other call happened to end the game to give Texas their victory on Saturday of obstruction or not obstruction at the
Hmm.
plate. So you saw the play.
Hmm.
What do you think? Like I'm in the camp that it was not obstruction, and
Hmm.
I'll plant my flag there. But what do you think?
I will also plant my flag there. It's a tough play for the base runner because
100%.
you don't in real time you really don't have anywhere to go.
Correct.
However, the ball being thrown that far up the line
Hmm.
as an outfielder, not the most accurate throw.
Hmm.
But if obstruction was called in that situation, and I know as a center fielder that my throw is what led the catcher to get that call,
Hmm.
I feel awful because, in my opinion,
Oh
the catcher
yeah.
always has a right to go get my errant's not the right word, but my
Right.
like a little off the mark throw. And that's
Right.
a really difficult throw to make, no matter how many times you make it. Making that throw in a high
Yep.
pressure situation like that
Yeah.
is one of the most difficult things to do as an outfielder
Hmm.
consistently. So
Yeah.
I thought the throw you want to miss on that side of the base.
100%.
Awesome.
Yes.
I just think it was a bang bang play, but the
Yeah.
catcher has a right to go get that ball. And you have
Yeah.
to give the Texas center fielder credit for doing that because it was like again, every single moment of that game mattered and for it to like what better, cooler ending to have than
Yeah,
that.
because you do not want to give Oklahoma another out. You cannot.
No.
If they tied that ball game and they have the bats in their hands, you don't want to give that to them. So I think the catcher also did a great job of the way that she received the ball and then tagged her. It was sideways. She wasn't facing the runner like she did.
Right.
She did a great job, I think, of still doing something to give the, like you said, there's nowhere to go. Like it's not like you're going to stop running to change direction. Like that run matters so much. And should she have been sent? I don't know. Like, you
That's
never
part
want
of
your
it too.
last out to be at home plate. So I don't know. I think there's a lot that goes into it, but I like that it was an obstruction. I think you gotta let the play out. And like you said, I rather, especially like in my shortstop days, I'd rather have an errant throw quote on
Hmm.
that side of the base
Hmm.
than on the other side of the
On the other
base.
side.
Because at the end of the day, like if that throw was on the money at home, she's out by 5 feet. But this letter, it's like in a pickle, like you close the gap. She
Hmm.
just, at the end of the day, the gap kind of got closed and boom, boom,
The gap,
she's out.
yeah,
So
exactly right. The gap got closed. I
a big
mean,
weekend.
oh my gosh, like just what an absolute weekend. And I want to give a shout out to Estelle Check because she
Yeah, yes.
has done something that quite literally no pitcher has done
Yeah,
in my recent memory, at the
yeah.
very least.
Hmm.
Held OU scoreless,
How?
no walks, no extra
Unbelievable.
base hits in six
Impossible.
innings of
Impossible.
relief work. She retired all 8 batters that she faced to clinch that series on Sunday. So, I
Huge.
mean, veteran in the circle.
Yep,
Texas has a really deep pitching staff.
they do.
And I think that, like, you want the formula to beat Oklahoma, I think you've got to follow what Texas did this weekend. You've got to
Yeah.
have elite, deep pitching. You've got to have a great start, a great reliever, a good closer,
Yeah.
and you have to figure out a way to get a timely hit.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And credit to Oklahoma too. Like obviously there's always room to credit Oklahoma. They're great. Like
Always
Kelly Maxwell on Friday night, she looked untouchable. She looked untouchable on Friday night. So
crispy.
yeah, and credit to Oklahoma in that this is the first series they've dropped since 2011 in the Big 12. And that was
2011?
2011. That was Chelsea Thomas. That was to Missouri with Chelsea Thomas. So like, I mean, it makes
Missouri
sense.
wasn't even in the SEC yet when, oh my.
Yeah. So big shout out
Wow.
there. I also think Texas defense, Mia Scott, at third
Lights
base,
out.
lights out. She was eating everything up. So I just you have to play near perfect to beat Oklahoma, and
You
Texas went
do.
out and they did that. Even in their loss,
Twice.
they played very well. They played
Yeah,
well. Maxwell
they did.
just was unbelievable Friday night.
Literally unbelievable. Like it didn't look like anyone was even close to the
No,
ball. I
mm-mm.
was swinging and missing from the couch, so
I'd be doing that too. So
it happens.
I know we spent quite a bit of time with the college talk about this particular series, but do you want to run through quick some other games that happened over the weekend? Some other big wins, big
Yeah,
losses?
I think we gotta chit chat a little bit about Florida LSU. So Florida
Yeah,
took the series in Gainesville.
yes, they
Not
did.
super shocking. Gainesville's a really tough place to play. I it that series was everything I think anyone would expect. Very
Yes.
close, little bit of pitching, little bit of timely hitting, some spurts of great offense, back and forth, a lot of momentum shifting plays. And then to have it all end Monday night on a walk-off strikeout
Rough.
is so hard. Like my jaw
Yeah.
was on the floor
The floor.
watching
Yeah.
that. And your
Yeah.
heart breaks for LSU because you'd never want to lose a game like that. And my heart
Right.
especially breaks for Sydney Berzon, who has carried a lot of the load for LSU. Like again,
Mhm.
another deep pitching staff, but I think she's very clearly the ace of that
Yeah,
staff.
I agree.
For you to strike out Florida's best hitter, the SEC's best hitter, one of
Yeah.
the nation's best hitter, I would argue the
Yeah.
best hitter in the nation in Skylar Wallace,
Yeah.
for you to strike her out on 3 pitches,
Get her chase too. To
get her to
chase.
chase a ball in the dirt, which she never does.
No.
Man,
Yeah, that's tough.
just really tough. But overall, I thought that was a great series. And Florida has continue to surprise me. I keep waiting for their youth to show,
Yeah.
and it hasn't.
Very
It hasn't.
composed. Very composed.
Very composed. I think that's a credit to Tim Walton. And
For
I
sure.
think the addition of Francesca Anea to that coaching staff has really made a big difference. I
Yeah.
do.
She's so cool.
She's one of the coolest people out there.
Yeah.
Fran, if you're listening, we love you.
Yeah, we're big fans. She's a
Big
Valley
fan.
girl. She's from the Valley.
She
So
is.
Valley Girls Unite.
Valley Girls Unite. I love that. Also of
Um,
note, Tennessee did take 2 of 3 from Georgia. That series
yes, they
normally
did.
would be like, oh my gosh, everybody's watching that. But because of OU Texas,
What
I
a
think it just kind of
weekend.
it got lost in the weeds a little bit.
Yeah.
Tennessee continues to impress me with their
Yep.
pitching.
Yes.
Pickens is an absolute animal,
Yeah.
and Gottschall, it's like the perfect combination of an elite offense, a high velocity pitcher, and a spinny movement pitcher.
Yes.
They've got it all.
And
It's fun
I
to watch.
I love too that they're quietly doing well. I think that there's a lot of talk around big
Yes.
teams, right? Like look at Duke, look at the conversations around them right now. Look at the
Yes.
conversations, Texas, Oklahoma, all these other big, huge teams. And Tennessee's kind of like they're there and they're doing just as
Chilling.
good. But the
Hmm.
top, I feel it like it's just a little under the radar, it seems.
You're
And
right. Yeah.
I
You're 100% right.
love that. They're gonna all of a sudden be not a dark horse or a sleeper. They're just gonna be like, what do you mean, guys? We've been here the whole time.
Yeah. Like we've been out here. Like we've been out here handling our business. We've been in our bag. Like
Yeah, we've
don't
been
don't be
volunteering.
surprised. Don't be surprised when Tennessee's out
No.
here doing their thing.
Doing, yeah, all of a sudden in the championship of the World Series. I'm just saying.
They're deep enough.
Uh, yeah. What else? You said you want to tell them about Washington, Oregon?
Sad weekend for the Dogs. Great weekend for the Ducks, though.
Yes.
Oregon took 2 of 3. I have to say I am surprised. I did think there was a chance that Washington would drop a game here because Oregon has not been the most consistent team.
Right.
And Washington, we've talked about endlessly, I feel like, on this show that
Mm-hmm.
for whatever reason they couldn't win a game on Sunday
Right.
until last weekend.
Yes.
And but for them to drop two, I was really surprised. I
Yeah.
was really, really surprised.
Yeah.
But
I wonder if
any
being in
given
April,
weekend.
yeah, truly. The
Yeah.
the competition you're playing number one, but I also wonder like at this time of the year, we're approaching mid-April. We're gearing up, even thinking about postseason. Like, I wonder if this is going to be the weekend that's going to have them say, "All right, you guys, we either turn it on now or we turn it off." You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
this could be a pivotal weekend for them to take and to then. Same with LSU, I think. Like looking at those losses,
Yes.
I feel like, okay, you guys, like enough messing around.
Mhm.
Let's go and let's really get on the road to OKC. So I'm curious to see how both of those teams come out next weekend.
I
Uh
would argue the same for Oklahoma.
oh yeah.
Because think about it, no one on that roster has been in this spot
Truly. No, not no.
ever. And
Mm-mm.
so it's not about necessarily like it's not what happens to you. Like every team experiences adversity at some point in the season. You lose a
Yeah.
game you shouldn't lose. You lose a series you don't think you should lose. You're not
Uh-huh.
playing as well as you want to. You hit that
Hmm.
like mid-season wall. It happens to everybody. How do you flip the switch and
Hmm.
respond and
Yeah.
make a run? Because these games in April, like, yes, as much as they do matter for where you're going to be once, Selection Sunday comes around, yes, that's
Hmm.
important. But what matters even more is having momentum going into the NCAA tournament. And
100%.
and right now, this is the time for those teams to start building that as we kind of round out conference
100%.
play.
100%. Oh gosh, man. I know we spent a little extra time today talking about college softball, but it's a big weekend. This is
We
pivotal.
had to.
We
We had to.
absolutely. But I mean, in other news, look at how good Halo looks in her USA softball.
Ew.
I mean, talk about swag.
It's
I just
so comfortable.
it's got a pocket too in the front, no?
It's got a pocket in the front. I don't know if you can
Yeah, that's where she puts her
wait. I'm not going to
snacks.
show up my tummy, but there's this is
Look at
where I
that
keep
pocket.
all of my Banty snacks.
Banty
Much like
snacks.
Caitlin Clark's dad.
Yeah, you got to keep the snacks somewhere. Let's be real. So,
Yeah.
if you guys want to go over to usasoftballstore.com for your gear, you can use code BHB15 and get 15% off your entire purchase. We love you, USA Softball Store. You have us looking so cool all the time and comfortable. And
Swag.
comfortable.
Cozy
But
swag.
yeah, cozy swag, that is our look. Cozy swag chic.
Sometimes chic,
Sometimes chic, most of the time comfortable.
most of the time comfortable. Chic when I
But
remember to wear my tinted moisturizer every day.
oh yeah, that's when you're
That's
like,
it.
oh, she's got the glow.
Yeah, that's it.
But let's get into this little Banty balance. What do you say? Let's balance things out here. We've got managing
Yeah.
post-game stress today about
Hmm.
unwinding after competition. So do
Yes.
you do you want to take the lead here? I feel like our answers are gonna intertwine because
They
we
are.
decompress together.
Yes, they are definitely going to
So
intertwine.
yeah, I
I
would love.
the biggest thing for me, and I think we've talked about this in the past, Sam. I am an extroverted introvert.
100%.
And so when I am around my teammates, I'm so happy. I'm at the game. Everything is
I
great and hunky
am.
dory. Like win or lose, like I
Yeah.
genuinely love being around my teammates and playing the
Yes.
game and all of the camaraderie that comes with that.
Yes.
That being said, as soon as that game is over, social battery is immediately at zero
Depleted.
and recharge has to happen. And
Yes.
so for me, like space is very important. I like to take my time getting out of the locker room and slow down because our game kind of moves so fast. So I'm
Yeah.
very deliberate about controlling my pace as I leave the venue. And I just like my space. Like
Yeah.
I want to get dinner, a nice healthy dinner, maybe with teammates, maybe not. Like if it's a tough
Mm.
game, I do like going to get dinner with friends and just like
Yeah.
chit-chatting through things because I think that helps you process some stuff.
Totally.
But like once you get back to the hotel room, get back to your bed, grab a book,
Oh.
grab a good book, maybe light a candle,
Ooh.
maybe a little bit of journaling,
Ooh.
maybe a little bit of meditation, maybe a little
Ooh.
sleep story.
Ooh.
I'm not opposed to that either.
A
But
lullaby.
it's the pace is what's so important for me. It's
Yeah.
like being very deliberate about slowing down. And I know you're a big reader as well, but is there anything else that you like to do to
Yeah, you
eliminate
know what?
oxidative stress?
I love that I knew that our, like a Venn diagram, like our answer to this is just a circle because
Right
it's
there.
extremely overlapped. So
Yeah.
the one thing I will add is that after a game, I'd like to go and recap the game. Like I
Mm,
want to see good or bad game. I like to see what went well. I like to see what I could improve on. I think every single game, every single at bat is a learning opportunity, and I want
mm,
to take advantage of when it's fresh in my mind to go learn about it. Sometimes it's hard
yeah.
to watch. Sometimes I'd be like, I know what's coming when I'm rewatching
Yes.
it. Sometimes it's hard, but for me to like check, like to fully check out and move on to the next game, I have to live that game fully. Right.
Yes.
So I
Oh, I
think that
love
that's
that.
something, thank you. Because you can learn from the past, but you don't want to then bring it into tomorrow, especially like we play AU, we play Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So if I'm playing on Sunday, but I still got Fridays at bats in my head, I'm not doing myself or my team any favors.
No.
So I know that you and I too will like compare. We'll show, especially when we're roommates, we'll show each other our laptops. Be like, "Do you think this was a strike or was this a ball?" I'd be like, "No, that's a good take. Like, don't swing
Yeah.
at that."
9 times out of 10, it's a ball, just so everyone
Yeah,
was like 9 times out of 10. And that's fine. Like it
yeah,
happens. But again, I love that you bring that up because there's closure that needs to
yeah,
happen.
yes, yes.
Like you can't just continue to I think this is how slumps happen, by the way, is
Mm,
we don't process things immediately or like we wait
yeah.
too long to process certain things and
Mhm.
then all of a sudden it's like one bad weekend, another bad weekend, another bad weekend after that. And if we're not taking inventory and providing ourselves closure after every game that we
Good
play,
point.
it can be really hard to mentally move on
Right.
because like if you're not going back and looking at what you did, like how do you expect to track and improve,
Mm.
you
Yes.
know?
And that goes good and bad games. Like, I don't care. Like, hitting a
Yes,
home run tonight doesn't help me hit a home run tomorrow. Like, I'm going
correct.
to be facing a different pitcher. I'm going to be in a different, I might be in a different spot in the lineup. Like, there's a lot of things that good, I like consistency in routine in that good game, bad game, win, lose, strikeout, home run. I want to do the same thing every night. And
Mm.
that I think comes from having this post game routine of I do love breaking bread with my teammates, but you're right. Like, did you say you're an extroverted introvert or you're an introverted extrovert?
Extroverted introvert.
Okay, because I think I'm an introverted extrovert.
So you're
So
the
I
opposite.
yeah, 100%. So I'm like, I am outgoing, and then people sometimes are surprised if they only know me as a softball player that when I go home, I'm like,
Introversion.
yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm reading.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah, you're definitely reading.
yeah, 100%. So yeah, I think this is a great topic. Everybody needs to find their thing that makes sense for them after the game. I think what's most important through any routine is that you're not beating yourself up and that you're not like overhyping yourself either, right? Because
Yes.
when you beat yourself up, you're down bad. When you overhype yourself up, you're too high and like the game is
Yes.
here. The game is around the middle. So,
Stay
um
neutral.
yeah,
Stay
and
neutral.
it's everyday approach consistently and, you know, give yourself a good opportunity to have a new day, a new game, new at bats, new pitches.
Yes. Absolutely incredible.
I can't
And
wait for our post game routines
oh, it's
together.
good. It's coming up close.
Yes,
Athletes
it
Unlimited
is.
season is very rapidly
It is
approaching,
upon
as well
us.
as as well as some USA activities, which I think we're going to get to here in a second.
Yes.
Some HPP and national team news. So this past weekend, the Marietta, Georgia identifier had 75 athletes. Those
Amazing.
athletes will be getting their evaluations and invites within the next week, which is so, so exciting.
Yeah.
The HPP identifier heads to this Sunday, Rockland, California.
Woo.
Rockland currently has 100 kids
Yeah.
and they're still taking walk-up registrations. And then after Rockland, California, you've got Dallas, Texas on April 21st to close out the month. May is also going to be really busy with the HPP as we are heading to Maple Grove, Minnesota on Cinco de Mayo, May 5th, Honolulu, Hawaii on May 11th, and Houston, Texas on May 19th. You can visit hpp.usasoftball.com for more information or for a list of other identifiers. Sam, do you want to tell the people what's going on with Team USA?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to match your accents because that was amazing. But Team USA, we've got USA Softball has unveiled the rosters for the highly anticipated 2024 Border Battle and Slow Pitch Showdown, which will take place from July 25th to July 27th at the softball capital of the world in Oklahoma City. It will showcase men's and women's slow pitch national teams, as well as the men's futures and women's futures team. The Border Battle, I remember the border, like the first time I went and watched the Border Battle was my first time on Team USA. I was like, this is fun and exciting, and we're in the softball capital of the world. It's an annual international softball event that started in 2009, and this will mark its 14th season. And it's between, for those of you who don't know, the Border Battle is between the Canadian national team for slow pitch and USA Softball, so the northern border of United States of America. So very exciting stuff. July is going to be exciting in Oklahoma City.
Yes. And
what do we got?
Go America.
Yeah.
Sorry to you Canadians that are out there listening. We do love you.
Love you, Canada. But
we would love to win the border battle. So
we root for the
sorry about
team.
that. We did. So sorry about that.
What do we got coming up?
Yeah, we got a lot of top 25 matchups again this weekend.
Huge.
So
huge.
The one that I am most excited about, there's been a lot of talk about the Duke Blue Devils.
I was thinking you were going to say this matchup.
Listen, again, like you're talking, they're kind of flying under the radar a little bit. Like, have they played a tough schedule? Have they not? I personally feel like they have. Like, they've been winning. They've been consistent. On the road at Clemson.
Yeah.
Valerie Cagle.
Yes.
And that crew and John Rittman, friend of the program. I think that's going to be an absolutely incredible series. I'm absolutely pumped to watch that.
Yeah.
You've also got Texas A&M at Alabama. Alabama got the sweep this weekend over Ole Miss. I want to give a shout out to my Tide there. That was much needed.
Yeah.
Got us back to 500 in SEC play, which is awesome. This is a really big series with Texas A&M coming up. And it's also Alabama's alumni weekend, in which a documentary about the 2012 national championship team is going to premiere on the SEC network. So make sure you guys look out for that.
Are you going? Are you going to alumni weekend?
I'm not, sadly. Sadly, I have an exciting announcement that I will make on my social media this week as to why I'm not.
Okay.
But
Tune in.
I will be tuning in, obviously.
Outstanding. I do want to say, to add to these matchups, I'm really glad that you said Duke and Clemson is what you're looking forward to, because right now, Softball America ranked Duke as #1 in the country now. So there is so much conversation of, do they deserve it? Don't they deserve it? Who have they played? How, this or that. If Duke has a chance to go out and make a statement this weekend.
Do it, Duke.
Yeah. So I'm really excited to see how they handle that, because there's no way they're not out there reading what people are saying about them as a team. Absolutely. Right? So what is it going to do for them? It's going to either put the pressure on and be like, we have to show them, or it's going to be like, oh, I don't care what they say. We're going to go out and do what Duke does. And yeah, I think this is going to be a huge weekend for statement making across the board, but especially for them Blue Devils over there.
Them Blue Devils.
Blue Devils.
That's going to be a great weekend.
Well, I think we've got a great guest coming up for you guys. I hope you enjoy the conversation. You know, we always do. We're out here with all the banter all the time. And we just love, I just love talking to you, Halo.
I love talking to you. It's so fun. Softball's in such a great spot, and
so proud.
I'm so excited for you guys to hear this guest interview in particular, because there are some really good mature nuggets in this episode. So
yeah, stay tuned.
At Higginbotham, we put people first. Our specialists are here to serve you, the people you care about, and your success. Insurance, HR, and financial services. Inspired by you.
All right, Bantees, we're so happy to have you here. We have a very special guest for us. Do you want to say hello before we introduce you.
Oh, yeah. Hi, everyone.
We've got NiJaree Canady, you guys. This is okay. Listen, I already told Nija before we started that I have a very hard time. Never in my life have kept my cool, and nothing is different about this time. Halo, how are you feeling about our extremely special guest?
I feel just honored to be in the Zoom room with our girl
Yeah.
here because like just watching you the past couple of years, you've just been an absolute pleasure to watch. And so to be able to pick your brain for a little bit is just it's so exciting for us. And I know a lot of people are gonna get a ton out of the conversation.
Yes. Let
Awesome.
me.
Yeah. And thank you guys so much for having me too. I'm excited.
It's
It
it's
is
our pleasure.
Our
really.
pleasure, Nija. So, okay, let's get into the nitty-gritty. I'm gonna go ahead and give a little bio, and we will cover, pretty much everything, and then some. Your bio was quite long, so I kept it to some extremely major bullet points here. To start off, from Topeka, Kansas, where you were two-time Kansas Gatorade Softball Player of the Year. So what a start without even stepping foot on the college playing field. You were NFCA Freshman of the Year, Pac-12 First Team, All Freshman Team, National Player of the Year, Top 25 finalist, huge, super huge deal as a freshman. And then you made the All Tournament team at the Women's College World Series. So you've had a career and you've played 1.5 seasons of college. How does it feel when you hear that or think about what you've already accomplished?
Yeah, honestly, I never I don't know, I feel like just being a college athlete, like you never look too far, like back into the past. It's always like what's the next thing. So honestly, I don't even think about last season at all. My mind's just like set on this season and
Yeah.
like where this team can go. So
I love
Yeah.
that.
yeah.
The first thing I wanted to ask you is because one of the things that I noticed that a lot of people struggle with is you have an amazing freshman season and then you come out and you can experience like that sophomore slump. You are immune to that, it seems. Can you talk about just what your mindset was coming into this season that was maybe different than last season?
Yeah, so honestly, like that's especially like coming back in the fall, like just being completely vulnerable. Like that was one thing I was like worried about because like so many people like kind of go through that and experience that. And
Mhm.
like it's a part of the game, of course, but everyone wants
Mhm.
to try to avoid that. Like you want to get better
Yeah.
each and every season. So I don't know, I remember just being like really, really focused on that at the beginning of the year. But I don't know, I just did a lot of reflection and you can't always you have no control over the outcomes of things, right? The only thing you can really control is just like your preparation and like the work you do day to day. So
Mhm.
instead of focusing on what on like what could happen, I just focus on like the reps I'm doing each and every day and just hoping that was enough. And so far it has been. So yeah, I feel like I don't know, college is about like its challenges and some days are going to be better than others and some like years are going to be better than others. But
Mhm.
again, like the only thing you can really control is just like your preparation and what you do day to day. So that's just what I've been trying to focus on. It's helped because it's one thing you can control.
Yeah, I love that.
Gosh, that honestly such a great question, Halo. Way to kick us
Yeah.
off. Just that's an amazing question because it's true. Like you set a standard immediately where you're getting your
Mhm.
feet wet at the same time as establishing yourself. And I would love to add this piece because oftentimes huge softball schools aren't necessarily huge academic schools, and you're at a place where you have the tops of the top in the classroom and on the field. How is that balance? Like, I know, are you undeclared? Is your major undeclared still?
Yeah, so I'm actually kind of in the process of declaring now,
Okay.
and I'm gonna declare in science, technology, and society. So that'll be exciting. Yeah.
So that sounds like a hefty major. How is the balance with playing at such an elite level, taking extra reps, being involved in practice, the weight room, and then also your school load?
Yeah, so it's definitely hard, and that's it's definitely something that I don't know, you kind of have to figure out early. So, and you find out a lot about yourself too. So I know when like I'm on the road after a game, I personally just don't like doing homework. I like when I'm away, when I'm in, like when we get into conference play and things like that. I know, especially if we're at a hotel, like I just want to unwind, look at film, look at things
Mhm.
like that. I don't want to be like worried about an essay or a final. So,
Mm.
personally, I just try to do a bunch of my work beforehand. So I know if we leave Thursday, I'll try to get all of my work done on Wednesday. So that just means maybe I won't have as much time to like relax earlier in the week, but I know like later on it'll pay off because then I can just be solely focused on softball. So there's definitely a lot of like time management that, and I'm pretty sure all like college athletes can relate to that. But
That's amazing.
yeah, it's
What
just
was
yeah.
what was that process like figuring that out to where like you knew that you needed to really focus on the weekends when you were traveling or whatever? Like what was that process like for you figuring that out?
Yeah, it was definitely like a lot of ups and downs, especially like last year. I feel like this year I have it more. I don't know, as coming in as a sophomore, like you just have more experience under your belt. So like you kind of know certain things about yourself. But I remember last year it was definitely a little stressful at times, just trying to balance like academics and softball. But as you do it more and more, it becomes easier and easier. And then
Yeah.
I just found out about myself. If I'm on the road, like I don't want to do homework, I don't want to do schoolwork. So just knowing when to get that done. So then I feel like you can play more freely too. Like if you don't have
Sure.
an essay to worry about or things like that, if you get that done beforehand, it's just easier to play because you don't have to worry about those things.
Be proactive so you can perform. I
Exactly.
absolutely love that.
Yeah. And
I'm going to
Halo
take
and
your
I-
advice because I'm not proactive. So
This is not just for the listeners. This is for the hosts
this is
as
for
well.
me.
It's funny because Halo and I have talked a bit on this podcast about prioritizing, right? Whether it comes to something like this, like your schoolwork, prioritizing so that you can get things done, so that you can put your best foot on the field. Whether it's self-care, prioritizing X, Y, and Z. Like there's so much to it where you're, like Halo said, like you're being proactive, you're doing your homework ahead of time so that ball is life on the weekend and school will be there on Monday.
Yes, no, exactly. And actually you say that, but it kind of relates back to what our coaches say too, like just feeling like finding times, like you relate to self-care, but just finding times to like fill your bucket. We talked a lot about that, like in the winter, because it's so easy to just throw yourself at school and softball and not allow yourself to like do anything else. But you have to find times to not only like do school and softball, but also like, I don't know, go on a walk and just things like that to kind of unwind and just like give yourself time, because you can just like it's very easy to just focus on school softball and that's it. So just trying not to fall into that loops hard, but like you said, it's easy. Like you have to prioritize like self-care too, which is very important.
Yeah, for sure. What are some of your favorite things to kind of unwind? Obviously, the year you had last year, the year you're having this year, there are a lot of eyes on you, and I feel like it sometimes maybe it can feel like the weight of Stanford softball is on your shoulders. What are some of the things that you do mentally to kind of just get away from things and like incorporate your own self-care?
Yeah, so I actually start to get a little bit into like journaling. So and just like writing things down about it's actually I have to do a better job of this because my journaling is in like my softball notebook right now. So I have to do a little better job of that. But I just kind of write down things I've enjoyed about my day and things like that. And I don't know, it's just easy to I don't know, it's easier to just reflect on like the day you've had if you actually write it down. So I've been trying to do that. And then I love my teammates actually. So we do a lot of stuff together. We play beach volleyball and things like that. So
Fun.
yeah, those are really, and the weather's getting nicer out. So we'll be able to do more things outside.
That California sunshine.
Yes, it's like
It's
70
different.
degrees right now. It's really nice.
That's why they write the songs. That's why they all
Yes.
write all the songs about California.
Exactly. Yeah.
I would love to know, NiJaree, what drew you to Stanford? You know, being from Kansas, you have a lot of options maybe closer to home that are still elite softball programs. What was the major draw for you to go to Stanford?
Yes. So one, like the name Stanford was so that was a big a big light right there. Just having that call. And then honestly, I loved like the coaching staff. So when I was getting recruited, we were kind of in COVID, so I couldn't really get out to see schools at first. But then I remember I waited until like the summer going to my senior year to start taking visits when all the restrictions started to lift. And I came out here and I just love the coaches, love the weather, obviously. I don't know, I was confused on why there were no like indoor facilities, I mean, but we don't need them here. I'm used to like, I don't know, practicing in like indoor turf facilities and things like that. But we practice outside year round over here, and And I love my teammates. I love the team culture and everything. So it's where I ended up, and I love it.
I'm
That's
so happy.
amazing.
I love that. I love hearing that.
That's
Truly.
so cool. And I feel like a good thing with Stanford is like, like you get your degree from there, you're gonna be able to do so many amazing things with your life. Do you know what you want to do when you grow up, for lack of a better term?
So I'm not too sure. I do like pitching lessons right now, actually, and I love doing that. And I know I've had some like my pitching coach from when I was growing up, she turned herself like just giving lessons on the side to like a full-time business, and now she does that full-time. She has her own facility and everything. Roxy,
so cool.
hi, if you're seeing this. But
Hey, Roxy.
yes, but yeah, so now she's doing that full time. So I could see myself doing that, possibly just opening my own facility and giving lessons, because
Good for you.
I don't know, I started doing that in high school, and I just really love it now. So
Oh, that's awesome. Well, your degree is going to be in science, right? Is what you were saying?
yes,
Like
science, technology, and society. And then my
Okay.
concentration's innovation and organization. So it's focusing a lot on like businessy classes too. So I'm kind of looking at like the intersection between like business and like science and technology, if that makes sense.
So would you incorporate a lot of data into your pitching lessons then? Like, is that something that you like to do as a pitcher, is explore data and numbers and spin rates and all the other fun stuff that you pitchers explore?
Yeah, so actually Coach Nyberg, she does a really good job at this, but she works with people and like gets all of our like spin data and all of that. But she also, so someone she played with, Dana Sorensen, she has her own Dana Sorensen was like an All-American amazing pitcher, but
Yes.
yeah, she has her own like pitching facility in San Diego, and that's what she does a lot of, just like data and things like that. And she gets like the movements of each pitchers and like incorporates that into pitching. So I was able to talk to her a little bit, but she spoke about how a lot of the times pitching coaches ask a player to get a specific position or things like that, but like if a pitcher physically can't do that because of mobility issues and things like that, it can like hinder pitching ability. So the first thing she looks at before like she starts coaching is like she gets like pitchers measurements and gets mobility and things like that. So I'd love to like, I don't know, whenever I find the time to go to San Diego, I'd love to like spend some time with her also and just look at like what she does, because she uses a lot of data and things like that and incorporates it into pitching. So I'd love to look more into that.
That's so fascinating.
That's so cool. Halo, like that. Yes. Like at first I was like, how would that go in with pitching lessons? And then there's a whole explanation and something that you would never think of. I mean,
yeah,
back in the day when I was in the college, we didn't even have video to watch, man. Like we watched a World Series and then that was it. And then you're like, maybe YouTube, Kaylani Ricketts, how does she pitch? You know, like that was the extent of it. And now we're in a time where you can take these things and talk about mobility and see how to use that to then make a pitcher better. Like
exactly.
What a time to be an athlete.
Cool. Yes, because you can improve like mechanics and things like that, but a lot of things you can improve and also has nothing to do with pitching, literally things like mobility and like strength, working small muscles. I remember when I first got here, like that was one thing I could work on, just like not only like the big lifting, like squatting and deadlifts, but like little movements and like little weights. Actually, our trainer, we have our post game like rehab things, and it's literally like a dumbbell wall over here. We use a 3-pound dumbbell. And like we do like arm mobility, and like I can squat and deadlift a good amount, but those 3-pound dumbbells with like the little movements, it's hard to do.
Killer.
Yeah.
That's so true. Where you're like, I just deadlifted 300 and now I'm doing this, and it's like, I can't breathe.
Why is my shoulder on fire right now?
Literally, yes.
Yeah, no.
I would love, speaking of like look like scouting back in the day, like when I was in college, I didn't know a pitcher that we were facing, I didn't know a team, I would go to the stat lines and I would look at innings pitched, strikeouts, batting average against, those types of numbers, so that I could get an idea of what I was going to be facing if somebody was a strikeout pitcher, or you know, if they had a lot of walks or their batting average against was high, then I could kind of formulate my own plan without really seeing this pitcher. And I'm looking at your stat line from this year, and you have thrown in 117 innings and you have given up 52 hits, which I really love the number 52, but that's insane. That's less than half the innings pitch, you give up a hit. You give up a hit in like once in a while. Has your pitching approach, has that always been your results, or has it developed as you've gotten older, or have you seen that? And to add in that many innings, 117 innings, you have 185 strikeouts. So you're striking out 1.5 batters a game or an inning. Sorry.
Insane.
Has that always been how you've thrown?
No, not at all, actually.
Okay.
I always wanted that to be, I know that was always the goal. So I remember actually Rox, who I was talking about, I don't think she's gonna like that 1.5 number. Actually, I remember growing up, she always said, okay, you need like 2 strikeouts an inning, get 2 strikeouts an inning. So hopefully she doesn't watch this, because it's 1.5 might be a little low for her.
We got your back.
Yeah. But no, so I remember when I was younger, I could not spin a ball for the life of me. So I remember I mostly just threw fastballs and changeups until I want to say later in middle school. I started pitching around 10, and then about 8th grade, freshman year, is when I kind of started like learning to spin the ball and everything. And then I don't know, just gradually got better and better. And then I want to say everything didn't click for me until I want to say like middle of high school. So sophomore year was like COVID again. So I feel like I just kind of like, there was no softball going on, so all you could really do is practice. And then after that, I want to say there was a big shift between my freshman year of high school and my junior year of high school. And then that's where everything kind of changed, and it was like I was a new athlete then.
I'm obsessed.
I think this is such an important point.
Yes.
For anyone that's listening, you don't have to continuously play games on the travel ball scene or in the high school scene to get better. Like you talked about, it was just deliberate, focused practice and making that jump from your freshman to your junior year. It kind of sounds like COVID was a blessing in disguise for you and your development.
Yes, it was, truly, just because like there was, I don't know, like no games really being played. I just practiced, and I just got lost in the process of it. And then, of course, you don't really, like, you can practice and practice and practice, but you don't really like see the results until you're against a hitter. And I want to say, my junior year, we won our first like state title actually that year. And then I want to say that's when I really like that state championship game actually was when I really like saw the difference between freshman year versus junior me.
I think the other thing to take from that is that you could have taken a year off. You could have said, oh, well, there's no softball, so like I'll just hang out. And but like Halo pointed out, you had some intention behind what you wanted to do, and you practiced and you got better. And I mean, to me, like listening to you say that shows a gamer mindset, like shows why when I watch you out there throwing, I'm like, I know she's going to do it. She knows she's going to do it. Like we all know she's going to do it. And I think that mindset, I mean, when you're a sophomore, you're what, 15 years old? Like,
yeah, around there. Yes.
Yeah. You could go and be a kid. You can run around the name. You can do whatever, but you chose to go and develop your craft. And I mean, that rise ball is, I'm swinging and missing at it, sitting at home watching. Like
literally
crazy. Are you so proud? Are you so proud of it?
Yeah, I am. I remember that was actually the one pitch where actually I never thought I was gonna get it. It took, and actually I do like looking back during COVID was when it really grew and just taking time to just practice it. But yeah, there was a time where I just threw fastballs. I could not spin a ball. I had no clue where the ball was going. Actually, I always threw pretty hard, but I didn't know where it was going. The catcher didn't know where it was going. If you caught me throughout the years, I apologize because it's not good. My dad got beat up a lot too. He's still my catcher. I go home and he'll still catch me. Wears no gear, wears no helmet, but he's in his sandals. So sometimes I don't even think I'm throwing that hard because he's just catching me on a bucket in his sandals with no gear.
We love softball bucket dads.
Yes, we do.
We love them. You have a younger brother too, right?
Yes, I do.
Yes. Does he play any sports?
Funny story. So he committed to Cal for football, actually. So
Oh,
yeah.
snap.
So
We got a little
he
family rivalry brewing
yeah,
here,
so
huh?
he's there right now. He early enrolled actually. So he graduated high
Oh, good
school
for
early.
him.
But
Oh,
Cool.
he's at Cal right now. But
wow. A
yeah.
big family rivalry, and you guys must be
Yeah.
super smart going to Stanford and Cal.
Super casual.
It's
Yeah,
awesome.
well, yeah, I don't know how he ended up at Cal, honestly. We're from Kansas, so he just followed me out here, I guess. But
That's
Yeah,
so
yes.
cool. That's so
That
awesome.
I love to hear that. It just feels like a really like you've had a really well-rounded experience so far in softball. And I'd love to know kind of what are your goals like right now, future? What are some of your goals, softball or not softball?
Yeah.
yeah, so obviously the biggest one I feel like for everyone's to win like a national title. I feel like that's a big goal
Yeah.
everyone's shooting for.
Mhm.
But yeah, definitely that. But actually since the Olympics are in 2028, so I'd love to fingers crossed I get to participate in that. It'll be and I graduate in 2026, so it'll be fun. I'll have a couple years where I can kind of train and get ready for that, and
Yeah.
Mhm.
hopefully I make that team. But
That's
yeah.
I
awesome.
love that.
Well, I'd
It-
love to ask you about your Team USA experience. You were on
yes.
the roster for the Japan All-Star Series, which is
Yeah.
such a fun event.
Mhm.
And just being able to go over to Japan and have that experience is, I think, is amazing for any young player. Can you talk a little bit about that and what was it like playing international softball for the first time?
Yeah, it was honestly amazing. Like, I don't know, just playing with getting to play with people you've competed against the past year. It's incredible.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like everyone looks at I know you always look at these like amazing players from across the nation and I don't know, like you see them do amazing things. And some people you play against, some people like you don't get to play against, you just see them all over the news. But
Mhm.
Right.
so just being able to play against them and play with them and I know like interact with them. We stayed in like hotel rooms with them and I don't know, just it was incredible. Just getting to know different people was really cool. And then the coaching staff too. So the head coach was actually Coach Rittman at Clemson and
Yeah.
yes, and he coached Coach Alistair, our head coach. So I thought that was
Right.
cool. Yeah, that was like a full circle moment too.
So cool.
Man, that's so fun. God, I think of the times like the hotel times, like obviously, okay, the softball's great. You're in another country, you're playing softball, you're competing against us. But the hotel times are that's something that never changes from travel
Mhm.
ball to college to international to pro. When you're just like, I don't know, we play cards a lot. So like when we're in there just playing
Yes.
cards, it just feels like so much fun, like memories that truly last a lifetime, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yes, I honestly
So
I remember playing we were on the train actually and we were going city to city and I remember playing oh, I don't know if you guys know of like Heads Up. You just put like the
oh
phone in your
yeah.
and you
Oh,
put
yeah.
yeah, it was actually bad. We were playing like Heads Up on the train and it was supposed to we were definitely being like the loud Americans like on the train, which was just not good looking back on it. But
Oh, that's great.
yeah, but
I bet
it
I
was
bet
really
those
fun.
I bet those locals never forgot you guys though.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, it was bad. Looking back on it, it was not the best thing to do, but it was
Oh,
I don't know, it was hilarious. And just the memories from that was really, it was fun.
no, that's
I love
awesome.
that.
That's
I love
awesome.
that.
It's funny how like
Man,
the most memories you have in softball, like at least for me, like Sam has a way better softball memory than I do, but most of my memories are like off the field stuff, like just being around
yeah,
my teammates and just having a good time and having fun with each other. Like yes, the wins and everything, it does matter, but at the end of the day, like what lasts so much longer are those relationships you're able to build. And what a cool opportunity for you after your freshman season to be able to just interact with all of those different people. Like you said, that's
yeah,
so amazing.
Yes, exactly. And you get to see people in like a different light too. Like
Yeah.
when you're playing, you always think of the other team as like the bad guy. I don't know. Like
totally.
it's like you guys are good
Yeah,
guys, they're the bad guys, but now you're all like on the same team, you're all interacting. So it was good to like see people in like a different light. And people are different like on the softball field, obviously, than they are in like real life. So it was good to like see
for
that
sure.
other side
Totally.
of everyone.
For sure.
Totally. I would love to know, like obviously learning from your peers, learning from your experience so far in college. Who did you have a pitcher that you looked up to or idolized or anything when you were growing up learning pitching and developing as a pitcher? Was there anybody in particular, or was it just kind of you just liked pitching?
Yeah, so it started off with me like just liking pitching. I
Yeah.
saw someone do it when I think a girl like a couple years older than me was pitching, and it just started out like that, like, oh, I'll try out pitching. And then once I kind of got older, I really gravitated towards like Odyssey Alexander and just like how she was as
Yeah.
a two-way player.
Yeah.
Same with like Rachel Garcia, just
Yeah.
I know those like two-way like softball players, they were really because I pitch and hit, so it was good to
Right.
yeah, so it was good to I don't know, just see someone play like both sides of the ball.
I love that.
I'm so glad you brought up the fact that you pitch and hit because I've been waiting to ask you. You just hit your first career home run, right? That was
Yes.
against Arizona.
Yes.
Walk me through the at bat. I just want to know what that felt like. It like watching it, it seemed like such a cool moment, and I feel like your teammates were just like so pumped for you when it happened. Just walk me through the at bat and your
Yeah.
approach.
Yeah, so I remember I think the pitch before I feel like I was seeing the pitcher pretty decently. I remember first pitch before I just took a hack and then I think I just missed the ball completely, but I felt pretty good about the pitch.
It
And
happens.
then
It happens.
it does,
It do
yeah.
be happening.
And then yeah, and then second pitch of the bat, it just looked like a good pitch and like I said, I took a hack on it and it felt pretty good. And then yeah, I just
It looked so good off the bat too. Like it was, man, so
I
fun.
no,
I
it felt
love
pretty
that.
good. Yeah.
I was hoping you were gonna say I thought you might have said Odyssey because of the way that like her ball zips up and then watching
Mhm.
your ball zip up. I like it. I remember seeing you, obviously start last year and think that rise ball makes me want to retire. I don't want to face it.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's funny. Yeah.
I thought I was gonna have more to say there, but I just know I saw that and I was like, I have no interest in facing that. Because we know how things go with the rise ball in the box for Sam Fisher. But I've seen a little bit of I feel like do you feel like you've been throwing your changeup more this year?
Definitely. Yeah. And that's I think that's one thing also like going from a pretty decent freshman year to like a sophomore year. Like there's more people who kind of like know what you're throwing. They'll have a game plan
Right.
and things like that. So it's
Right.
important to like throw that in more just to keep hitters off balance.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, Halo, but like I think like talking about going from freshman to sophomore year and feeling like people might have your number because now they've
Mhm.
seen you a year, but like the adjustments that it takes to continue to improve and to continue to like elevate your level comes from just that, like what you just said. Like people might know what to expect now, and now I'm going to make an adjustment and I'm going to be even better. I'm going to be even more of a challenge for these hitters. And I just think that's elite, like making
Mhm.
those adjustments to go on and to not be predictable now. Cause you're like, oh, she throws 70 up at my hands, at my eyes, and then she's going to throw a dirty changeup. Okay. What am I supposed to do in the box? How,
Yes,
Yeah.
no, that's definitely yeah, and I credit this to like Coach Nyberg too, just because like she's done a really good job of just like making sure we grow not only like game to game, but also year to year and just figure out
Yeah.
what's because the more at bats like hitters get off of you, they better and better they get. So just
Right.
being able to like keep hitters off balance and making sure they just can't sit in one spot's been very important.
Yeah. And those adjustments, like that's how you beat the best of the best, because
Yeah.
the best of the best teams are going to be the ones that are preparing the hardest
Yeah.
and come in. So for you to have a game plan that goes against their game plan, like I just love that cat and mouse game between
Yeah.
pitchers and hitters. What is your preparation process like? You're a film girl, you a data girl? Do you like to go through the entire lineup and look at stats? Like what's that process like for you?
Yeah, so we do a good job in our bullpen actually. So our coaches watch a lot of the film for us, and then they usually just they show us pieces that they think are like really important, and then like they write down really good notes. So I usually just go through like Coach Nyberg's notes because they're really in depth. I could watch 5 games from each hitter and I won't have notes as good as that. So
Amazing.
I just trust her completely, and I just see what kind of I just look at what she finds out about hitters, and then I kind of just go off of that. And it's
That's
been
awesome.
I don't know, it's been working for a year and a half now. So
If it ain't broke.
yeah, if it's
Doing
not broke,
good.
yeah.
It's
Oh my
awesome.
gosh, Nija, this has been so awesome. Like they say don't meet your heroes sometimes, right? But watching you play, I can't express it enough what a joy it is to watch you out on the field. The way that you carry yourself is that of a veteran, in my opinion. Like, yes, absolutely. And to now talk to you, and we've heard interviews and everything, and we've kept up with you on just watching you. Like we said, we're not exaggerating, we're fans.
Yes, literally.
But to experience you in this way just adds, like, it fires me up even more to watch you out on the field and to learn more about your mindset. So thanks for taking the time. Halo, do you want to ask your final question for our guest?
Yeah, I do. I like you have so much playing ahead of you. And
so much.
I just can't wait to watch you continue to grow and play professionally, hopefully make the Olympic roster. And just, I'm so excited for that. But if you could go back and give your like 12-year-old self, 13, 14-year-old self any advice, what would it be?
I would probably say just keep putting in the work, because it's like it gets tiring sometimes, and like you don't see results overnight. Like it takes months and years to finally see results. So then I don't know, if you get caught in this process where like you don't see results like right away, or you're learning a new pitch and you don't see results within, honestly, the first like 3-4 months, you might not see any results, but you just have to keep to it, keep working at it. And then eventually, once you hit that year mark, 2-year mark, that's when you'll start. That's when you start really seeing like the big jumps. So I'd say just keep putting in the work, and then the results will take care of itself.
I'm obsessed with that.
Yeah, no, thoroughly. Like I'm writing it in my journal as we speak. But thank you for taking the time. We've loved every second, truly. So we wish you nothing but the best. Go Card. You know.
And hopefully we get the chance to see you guys in Oklahoma City.
Yes, fingers crossed. And yes, thank you guys so much for having me. This was really fun.
Oh, we're so glad.
Team USA has brought me opportunities that I never thought would happen before, and I'm super humbled to be able to represent my country.
There's so much talent in the United States playing softball right now, and we want to see the game continue to grow and prosper and develop.
I want to develop not just men, but women's softball as well.
I want to see more girls like me playing this sport.
I just hope one day that I could be somewhat mentioned, like a Natasha Watley, to help this game.
I just remember like watching everyone like in the Olympics, like, and you guys just representing this country. And for me playing USA softball, like I just want to do the same.
Team USA has brought me opportunities that I never thought would happen before, and I'm super humbled to be able to represent my country.
There's so much talent in the United States playing softball right now, and we want to see the game continue to grow and prosper and develop.
I want to develop not just men, but women's softball as well.
I want to see more girls like me playing this sport.
I just hope one day that I could be somewhat mentioned, like a Natasha Watley, to help this game.
I just remember like watching everyone like in the Olympics, like, and you guys just representing this country. And for me playing USA softball, like I just want to do the same.